when we multiply or divide fractions, we cannot have what? Mixed numbers. To divide fractions, we multiply by the reciprocal, also known as keep, change, flip. Okay, the distance around the lake is 9.63 miles. Marcel walked around the lake 3.5 times this week. What is the total distance that Marcel walked around the lake? So they gave us this information over here. It's extra information. If you were to add all of these up together, that would give you the 9.63 that's right there. So we don't actually have to go through and do that process. So what operation are we going to do? We know that the distance around the lake is 9.63 miles. We know that we've walked it 3.5 times this week. What are we going to do to figure out the total mileage? The answer to that would be multiply, and let me show you why. I'm going to do this in red because you don't need to write it down. On the first one, we went 9.63 miles. On the second one, we went 9.63 miles. On the third one, we went 9.63 miles. Over and over and over again, we're doing 9.63 miles. That means that we're going to multiply 9.63 times 3.5. I'm going to change this back to a different color so that we write it again. All right, so we're going to take 9.63 and we're going to multiply it times 3.5. Now remember, when we multiply decimals, we don't have to line those up. We only have to line them up if we are adding or subtracting. All right, so we start with 5 times 3, and 5 times 3 gives me 15. So I write down a 5, carry my 1. Then we have 6 times 5. 6 times 5 is 30, and then I'm going to add the 1 that's up here at the top, and that's going to give me 31. So I write down a 1 and carry my 3. Then I have 5 times 9. 5 times 9 gives me 45. Then I add the 3 that's up here at the top, and that will give me 48. I finished with my 5, I finished with my 1, and with my 3. I'm on my next row now, so when I'm on my next row, what would I add? A 0. Then I'm going to do 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. And then I do 3 times 6. 3 times 6 gives me 18. So I write down an 8 and carry my 1. Then I have 9 times 3. 9 times 3 gives me 27. And then I add this 1 that's up here at the top to give me 28. Now that I've multiplied all of my numbers, what do I do now? I'm going to add these together. So I have 5 plus 0, which gives me 5. Then I have 1 plus 9, which gives me 10. So I write down a 0, carry my 1. Then I have 1 plus 8, which gives me 9, and then 9 plus 8, which gives me 17. So I write down a 7, carry my 1. 1 plus 4 gives me 5, and then 5 plus 8 gives me 13. So I write down a 3, carry my 1. Then I have 1 plus 2, which gives me 3. After that, I check to see how many decimal places I'm going to have. I see 2 decimal places here and 1 decimal place here. That means I'm going to have 1, 2, 3 decimal places here. And that will give me 33.705 miles. All right, for this one, remember we can't have mixed numbers, so we're going to start by turning these into improper fractions. So I'm going to go around the world and land in Texas. We'll start with 2 times 3. 2 times 3 gives me 6. And then I add the 1 that's up here at the top, and that will give me 7. So I'll have 7 over 2, and we'll make that negative, since the original one was negative. And then we'll go around the world, and we'll land in Texas again. Sorry, I'm supposed to be writing this up here, negative 7 over 2. So we start with 5 times 2. 5 times 2 gives me 10, and then we add the 4 that's up here at the top, and that's going to give me 14. Then we have that over 5. Now remember, we don't divide fractions. We're just not able to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. Another name for multiplying by the reciprocal is keep, change, and flip. So we're going to keep negative 7 over 2. We're going to change the division to multiplication. So that's where the multiply comes from, and multiply by the reciprocal. And then we'll flip 14 over 5. 14 over 5 gives me 5 over 14 because the reciprocal is flipping, okay? Now we're going to check to see if we can simplify. We can't simplify 7 and 2. We can't simplify 5 and 14. We can't simplify 2 and 5. but we can simplify 7 and 14. What are both 7 and 14 divisible by? Both 7 and 14 are divisible by 7. So this 7 is going to be 7 divided by 7, which gives me 1, and then 14 divided by 7 gives me 2. Now, we'll just do tops times tops, bottoms times bottoms. So we do 1 times 5. 1 times 5 gives me 5, and then we do 2 times 2. 2 times 2 gives me 4. Then don't forget we have a negative times a positive, and a negative times a positive is a negative. Now, after we do that, we're going to divide to make it into a mixed number. So we do 5 divided by 4. 4 goes into 5 one time. 1 times 4 is 4. Subtracting that gives me 1. So our whole number is the one that's up here at the top. Then I have my numerator of 1 and my denominator of 4. This right here was negative, so we're going to make sure that we keep this right here negative. The next one, we have 1/6 divided by 2/3. This time, we don't have to do any improper fractions or anything like that, so we're just going to multiply by the reciprocal. That is another name for keep, change, and flip. So we're going to keep 1/6, we're going to change division to multiplication, and then we're going to flip the negative 2/3 to be negative 3 over 2. Now we check to see if we can simplify. 1 and 6 are good, 3 and 2 are good, 1 and 2 are good, and then we have 6 and 3. What are both 6 and 3 divisible by? They're both divisible by 3. 6 divided by 3 gives me 2, and then 3 divided by 3 gives me 1. Now we multiply, so we do tops times tops and bottoms times bottoms. We do 1 times 1. 1 times 1 gives me 1, and then we have 2 times 2, which gives us 4. That's negative 1/4 because a positive times a negative is a negative. For the next one, we got to make sure we don't have these as mixed numbers, so we will turn these into improper fractions. So we're going to do the Texas method. We're going to go around the world and land in Texas. We'll start with 5 times 6. 5 times 6 gives me 30, and then we'll add the 3 at the top, and that's going to give me 33. 33 over my previous denominator of 5. Do the same thing here, go around the world and land in Texas. We start with 8 times 3. 8 times 3 gives me 24, and then we add the 1 at the top to get 25. So we have 25 over 8. Remember, we can't divide fractions, so we have to multiply by the reciprocal, which is another name for keep, change, and flip. So we keep 33 over 5. We change division to multiplication, and we flip 25 over 8 to 8 over 25. We're going to check to see if we can simplify. 33 and 5 can't be divided by the same thing. 8 and 25 can't be divided by the same thing. 33 and 25 can't be divided by the same thing. And 5 and 8 can't be divided by the same thing. So that means we're just going to have to multiply. So we do tops times tops and bottoms times bottoms. So we'll start with 33 times 8. We'll do 3 times 8 first, which gives us 24, so I'll write down a 4 and carry our 2. Then we have 3 times 8. 3 times 8 gives us 24, and then we add the 2 at the top, so we have 24 plus 2, which gives us 26. So that's 264. And then on the bottom, we have 25 times 5. So we'll start with 5 times 5. 5 times 5 gives us 25, so write down a 5 and carry our 2. Then we have 2 times 5. 2 times 5 gives us 10, plus the 2 gives us 12. After that, how do we go from an improper fraction to a mixed number? We divide, so we do 264 divided by 125. We're going to estimate here, so we see 1 would go into 125 doesn't go into 2, and it doesn't go into 26. But 1 would go into 2 times. So after that, we'll do 125 times 2. And that gives us 250. Subtract, and that gives us 14. This 2 right here is a whole number or a numerator. That is a whole number, which makes this 14 right here a numerator. So we will have 2 and 14 over 125. Next one, we have To turn this into an improper fraction, so we'll go around the world, land in Texas. We'll start with 4 times 3, and 4 times 3 gives us 12, and then we'll add the 3, and that will give us 15 over the original denominator of 4, and then we have negative 4 over 5. I can't divide fractions, so I'm going to do keep, change, and flip, or multiply by the reciprocal. So we keep 15 over 4. We change the division to multiplication, and then we find the reciprocal of negative 4/5, which would be 5 over 4. We'll check to see if we can simplify. 15 and 4 can't be simplified. 5 and 4 can't be simplified. 15 and 4 can't be simplified. And 4 and 5 cannot be simplified. So we're just going to do tops times tops and bottoms times bottoms. 15 times 5. We have 5 times 5, which gives us 25. Write down a 5, carry our 2. 5 times 1 gives us 5, plus 2 gives us 7. Then on the bottom, we have 4 times 4, which gives us 16. We are doing a positive times a negative, and a positive times a negative is a negative. And then to turn this into a mixed number, we're going to do divide. So we have 75 divided by 16. 16 doesn't go into 7, but it would go into 75. We know that 15 times 5 gives us 75, so we know that it's going to be a little bit less than this 5 right here. So we're going to estimate a 4. 16 times 4 gives us, 6 times 4 is 24. Sorry, I done a 4 here in my 2. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. So this is going to be 64, and subtracting that gives us 11. All right, so this 4 right here is a whole number or a numerator? A whole number. This 11 is going to be a numerator, and so that would be 4 and 11 over 16. Don't forget this was negative, so this right here will also be negative. All right, this one says the distance across a pool is 10 3/4. What is the distance if a swimmer swims across the pool 6 times? Okay, so we know that they're going across this pool